This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. St. Anne security guard in custody for murder dies. Investigation launched. A probe has been launched into the death of security guard Leroy Martin, who died after being found unresponsive in a cell at the Brownstone lockup in St. Anne last week, Thursday. It is reported that Martin, otherwise called Biggie, complained about feeling sick, and later in the afternoon, he was discovered unresponsive on the floor of the cell. He was rushed to the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, where he died while being treated. Commander for the St. Anne Police, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, told the news that the death is being probed by the Independent Commission of Investigations and other internal agencies. Martin, 56, was in custody for the shooting death of 19-year-old Navagia Gray and the wounding of another person after a dispute over garbage disposal in Carlton Mountain near Claremont, St. Anne on March 2. He was charged with murder, 2 counts of wounding with intent, and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. He was remanded when he reappeared in court. It is reported that on the day in question, Martin had a dispute with the woman over the dumping of garbage in the community, which escalated into a quarrel. He allegedly left the scene and returned with a firearm and fired several shots, hitting 2 persons. They were taken to the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, where 1 person was pronounced dead on arrival. Martin fled the scene but was apprehended a few days later and was subsequently charged. Indicom probe off-duty cop fatally shoots a man after car chase. The Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, responded to anti-Becan investigations into the fatal shooting of an unidentified man in the vicinity of Buckwalk Gorge and the Sligoville Main Road in St. Catherine on Saturday, August 28, 2021 by an off-duty police officer. The police have reported that an off-duty officer became engaged in the pursuit of a Toyota Probox with 3 male occupants who had allegedly stolen cable wires. During the chase, the Toyota Probox collided with a vehicle traveling in the opposite direction. Indicom investigators were further informed that 2 of the occupants of the Probox ran from the incident scene, and at least 1 of the men is reported to have fired at the police officer. It is alleged that the 3rd approached and attacked the officer with a knife, causing him an injury. The officer fired at the man with the knife. This unidentified man was taken to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. 2 persons from the other vehicle involved in the collision were treated for their injuries. The incident scene was processed by Indicom, and the weapon of the officer as well as the recovered knife were boxed and sealed for testing. The hands of the deceased were swabbed for gunshot residue. No firearm was reported as recovered from the scene. An initial account of the incident was provided to Indicom investigators by the off-duty officer. The officer was issued a Section 21 notice to furnish a statement and attend to Indicom to be interviewed in relation to this incident. All initial accounts received by the Commission are recognized as preliminary information and will undergo the requisite investigative and forensic examination. The assistance of the public is also important, and persons are therefore reminded to contact the Commission and to share any information that will be useful in ongoing investigations. National Arena temporarily closed due to large vaccination crowd. The Ministry of Health and Wellness says the National Arena in St. Andrew was closed earlier today as it had reached its capacity for COVID-19 vaccination. A large crowd descended on the location this morning as Jamaicans seek to become vaccinated against the virus. As a result of the closure, the ministry says persons may visit the Mona Aging and Wellness Center at the University of the West Indies to be vaccinated. It says the public will be advised if and when the situation changes at the arena. Police release identities of Port Royal escapees. The police have released the identities of the inmates who escaped from the Port Royal lockup on Monday, August 30. The men have been identified as 29-year-old Prince Levy, 25-year-old Junior Query, and 44-year-old David Taylor. The police said the men were discovered missing during a check at the lockups about 4:45 a.m. Lawmen said that preliminary investigations indicate they escaped by cutting a hole in the cell door. The police said that Levy, otherwise called Tall Man, a call center worker of Cedar Valley, Sligoville in St. Catherine, is charged for murder. He is of dark complexion, slim build, and is about 188 centimeters or 6 feet 2 inches tall. He is known to frequent St. Mary and Kensington Court, Kingston 5. Prior to his escape, he was seen dressed in a blue t-shirt and blue shorts. Creary, otherwise called the Whopper, a construction worker of Carnarvon Street, Kingston 13, is charged for wounding with intent with the use of a firearm. He is of fair complexion, slim build, and about 178 centimeters or 5 feet 10 inches tall. He is known to frequent Canaan Street, Kingston, and parts of St. Anne. Prior to his escape, he was seen dressed in a white merino and plaid shorts. Taylor of Pleasant View, 8 miles in Bull Bay, St. Andrew, is charged for having sex with a person under the age of 16. He is of dark complexion, slim build, and is about 173 centimeters or 5 feet 8 inches tall. He also has gold teeth. He is known to frequent Dallas Castle and Papine in St. Andrew. Prior to his escape, he was seen dressed in a white t-shirt with designs on the front and brown shorts. The police are urging members of the public, especially those in the surrounding communities such as Rockfort, Bull Bay, Harborview, Bayshore Park, and Melbrook Heights, to be on the lookout for persons fitting the description of the escapees. Persons who can assist the police to recapture these men should contact the Kingston Eastern Police at 876-928-4200, the police 119 number, or Crime Stop at 311 immediately. Teen found dead with head partially severed in St. Catherine. 15-year-old Kevin McKenzie was found dead this morning with a gunshot wound and his head partially severed from his body. The incident happened about 7:30 in his community of Jones Avenue in Central Village, St. Catherine. It is reported that McKenzie left home to dispose of garbage when he was attacked. Residents reported hearing an explosion and went to investigate. They then stumbled upon the teen's body. Residents described the Spanish Town High School student as humble, caring, and well-behaved. Danvers Pen residents plead for help as river threatens overflow. Despondent residents of Danvers Pen in St. Thomas are once again sounding the alarm for state authorities to maintain the Negro River, which threatens the community whenever it rains. They say the river needs to be properly trained. Farmer and businessman Francois Grant of New Road in the area is fearful that the river might soon breach its banks and damage his property and the homes of other residents. The river is about to overflow banks. All of the groins are washing away. For over a year, the river has been steadily eating away the banks. Right now, we don't even need a hurricane for it to happen, just heavy rains and it is gone, he said. As he watched the receding water on Friday, after 2 days of sustained rainfall as Tropical Storm Ida scoured the island, Grant foresees danger for the rural community. The farmer lamented that, with groins being submerged by water, the district was in jeopardy with the embankment being eroded. The river threatens our nearby farm. We have animals and a little business, and right below us is the community. Once the last piece of the old grown washes away, then we are in trouble, Grant told the news. He fears that not only will homes and lands be flooded, but that residents could lose access to a key source of water for domestic purposes. Flooding could jeopardize the only means of walking safely to the river, Grant said. Danvers Pen has suffered with water supply challenges for some time. Grant also revealed that should the existing groins be washed away, a similar fate might await a bridge that connects communities such as Font Hill, Georgia, and Trinityville to major towns in St. Thomas. Residents are again calling for the relevant authorities to address their concerns before the situation worsens, causing loss of life and property. The National Works Agency said that while the concerns have been noted and the area is currently on a list of matters to be addressed, there are no scheduled works for the Negro River at this time because of budgetary constraints. Mandeville Hospital receives much-needed supplies from Treasure Beach Hotel. Mandeville Regional Hospital on Sunday night received some much-needed emergency supplies from Lashins Hotel in Treasure Beach following a plea from the hospital's CEO for assistance from the local tourism sector. According to a release from the hotel, sheets, towels, beds, water, toilet roll, napkins, and hot food for staff and patients were donated to the hospital. Lashins owner David Forbes said, "We have taken 2 trucks full so far and are now waiting for other guest houses and the business to drop more stuff to take up there too. The people who are working up in these hospitals are heroes, so we are also taking pizzas for them as well as for patients who have not got food." The plea for help came following news that staff had resorted to placing some patients on mattresses and to makeshift beds. "I want to thank everyone who has donated and dropped items to us at Lashings. Also, big thanks to all the staff at Mandeville Hospital who are working around the clock. The kindness of some people is mind-blowing. Treasure Beach is a truly wonderful community when we all help like this," Forbes said. The delivery followed a plea for help from the tourism sector for spare beds to be used in the triage area where patients are awaiting transfer to the wards. CEO Alwyn Miller reached out to the Treasure Beach stakeholders in a WhatsApp message which read, "I urgently need your help in getting some used launch chairs from the hotel sector to be used to accommodate COVID patients in our triage areas awaiting transfer to the wards. Our 5 hospitals could use some. Between 10 to 15 each, but any at all will be of help." Speaking with the news, Miller said that COVID-19 triage patients were being accommodated in a tent, but recent bad weather had meant they were moved indoors. A photo also began circulating on social media purporting to be in the hospital's outpatient department where patients were seen lying on floors. "We had a situation on Friday evening where we had 21 patients that were between the tent and the A&E department. It is not practical for us to keep them in the A&E department and the tent because we recognize that more people are coming in, and when they come in, we have to triage them under the tent, so we have to make the space," Miller told the news. "We provided mattresses for them to lie on. That is a holding space prior to them being moved to the isolation ward when the space becomes available," he said. 739 new COVID-19 cases, 6 more deaths. Jamaica has recorded 6 more COVID-19 fatalities, pushing the tally to 1,510. Those who have died are a 72-year-old male from St. James, a 66-year-old female from St. James, an 80-year-old male from St. James, a 62-year-old female from Hanover, a 74-year-old female from Hanover, and a 45-year-old male from Westmoreland. The Ministry of Health says the deaths occurred between August 27 and August 28, and 2 more fatalities are under investigation, moving that figure to 155. Meanwhile, there were 739 new cases, with ages ranging from 24 days to 94 years, pushing the total to 67,402, with 17,288 being active. Of the new cases, 422 are women and 317 are men. The parish breakdown is as follows: St. Anne 149, Kingston and St. Andrew 143, St. Mary 88, St. Catherine 82, Westmoreland 65, St. James 63, Portland 37, Hanover 30, Trelawney 28, St. Elizabeth 22, Manchester 19, Clarendon 9, and St. Thomas 4. A total of 1,508 tests were conducted. The country's positivity rate stands at 54%. In the meantime, there were 91 more recoveries, increasing the total to 48,186. Some 723 persons are in hospital, with 192 being moderately ill, 88 severely ill, and 62 critically ill. 1 person is in government quarantine, while 48,963 are at home. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.